So welcome everybody for that to this KZOOM. Last week we were traveling home, I guess, and we missed you.
Yeah.
So as I'm chanting this gratefulness chant, and I realize what a foundational practice it is to come into what I call unconditional gratefulness. And inside myself, when I'm saying thank you for my life, I'm saying for all of it, for the challenges and the blessings. Thank you for all of it. And I need to really place that frame in my life, because I could forget when the challenges arise.
Oh, yes.
It happens sometimes when the challenges arise. Oh, thank you for this too. Thank you for all of it. Thank you for my life. Thank you for this stage in which the play of life will happen. And And my job then is to make meaning of it, all of it, and to receive it, and to stay open, really, to stay open. And, because there is a flow that is flowing, and if I am not open, I won't receive it. And really that's what it means to be a Kabbalist. So the Kabbalist is the receiver of the flow. So this in this KZOOM, what I want to do is to take the risk and open, even when it might hurt, and then to take the step of trusting in the process of that and come to the healing, which brings us into wholeness, really. So this is a journey to wholeness. When I translated the Song of Songs, and it says Shir Hashirim Asher Shlomo. The word Shlomo could be Solomon, but it could also mean wholeness, So a journey. So I translate it as a journey through love to wholeness, and that's where we're going. So I invite you first to take a look around the Zoom room and connect yourselves in with everyone that is here. That we are creating a container for practice. We are supporting each other.
Such beloved.
And oh, good, you're Judy again, Judy Brown. Judy Brown, you were patient before, I think. So, and so I see Pesach is ready with his blessing. So the first practice, I call it rising to open, because this line from the Song of Songs that says Kamti ani liftoach ledodi, I rise, I will rise to open to my beloved. And it really kind of struck me that from where I am sometimes in the muck, I call it the muck of my life, the places of stuckness, I can't really open, or if I open, I'm opening to the wrong thing. So there is this rising to open that is important, and I want to find that movement inside me that rises up in order to open. And I've been thinking a lot about in my meditation. I've been watching my mind, that I have a little default place of complaint, just looking for things to complain about inside my mind and complaining about them. And recently, Rachmel and I learned this practice from Eckhart Tolle that said that's kind of a mantra that says, Thank you for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever.
There is a challenge.
And then we laugh because we do have complaints. But just the idea to live in this place, I have no complaints whatsoever. Some things go wrong and I have to fix them. Sometimes I have to, sort of. But and I may suffer. But the idea that I have no complaints is really, some place that I aspire to. And so that's the rising up into that place that is without complaint. And it might hurt, but, it's different complaining is like a whine. It's a whining. It's a constriction, and that's not actually, so I want to rise up above the complaint so that I can open, because that's where whatever blessing that wants to come through, even through the difficulty, will come through if I am open. So I was, and part of the opening is facing what is. It's coming out of denial of what is. And I just wanted to bring you this quote from James Baldwin, who said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed unless it is faced, until it is faced." Nothing can be changed until it is faced. So I think of this opening as a facing. Ooh, forgot something. I think of this opening as a facing of what is. And if something needs to be changed, then from there I can do that. So let's rise up out of our complaint, rise up out of our stuck places, and allow this energy to move in us. And as each of us rise, we are also lifting each other. Kamti Ani liftoach ledodi. Kamti Ani liftoach ledodi. Kamti Ani liftoach ledodi. Kamti silence. Feel what it's like to rise inside you. Opening, rising and opening. And letting all of life in. Becoming porous and vulnerable. Allowing yourself to be touched by all of it. And I think the challenge we face is then when life hurts, and sometimes it does, we have a tendency to close, and sometimes do some damage to ourselves and others in that constriction, in that closing. And really, we're trying to not feel the pain, and that what we do to avoid the pain is actually ends up to be worse than the pain itself. And looking into this idea of suffering, this mystery of suffering, Marcel, how do you say his name? Proust? Proust? Is that Proust? Proust. Marcel Proust said, "We are healed from suffering only by experiencing it to the full." We are healed by suffering only by experiencing it to the full. And there is this, the convolutions that we go to not feel something, to make ourselves numb, or to other things that we do to avoid pain and end up to be our downfall. This other teaching from James Baldwin, he says, "I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so much, so stubbornly, is because they sense once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain." So what I'm hearing there is hate, is actually one of the kind of the detours to not feel pain. And what kind of damage can we do in the world from not feeling pain? So instead of so the Song of Songs brings us to this place. The lover, she opens, the lover knocks, and the beloved hesitates, and she says, "Oh, it's not a good time to answer the door. My feet are gonna get dirty. I just got everything, all settled, and now he knocks." And then she has a realization, and she rises up, and she answers the door, and her beloved is gone. And she feels that pain of separation, and she goes out in search of the beloved, and she runs into a lot of trouble because life finds her, that place of feeling beat up by life, by just the vicissitudes of life, whatever it is. And they come in the form of the watchmen of the walls. And it says, they beat me, they bruised me, they tore the shawl from my shoulders, or the mask from my face, or the veil from my head. They tore it away from me, and whatever it is I used to protect myself from the pain of love or not love or separation, whatever I use to protect myself, in the process of feeling that pain, that gets torn away. And I am left in this place of utter vulnerability, other feeling exposed by that pain. So it feels like such an important point in the Song of Songs to move through. And I think that's the big challenge of life, is how do we move through the inevitable suffering of life? How do we not get stuck? What kind of meaning do we make? How can we grow from that experience? And if we are not open and we're not willing to grow from it, then we shut down and we stop growing. So I wanted to call you, to call a memory in your body of what that feels like. A moment in your life when maybe you felt kind of beat up.
Recently.
It doesn't have to be recently, but it could be recently. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be spiritual, but just a kind of sense of that sense of life doing its thing to you, and feeling exposed by it, feeling the suffering that we all go through. And if we weren't so open, maybe we wouldn't feel it so bad. But we've just opened ourselves up. And there must be some reason, some meaning, some learning, some gift in that really challenging place. And one of the gifts is that veil that's taken away from us. We can't hide. What a gift to be able to say you can't hide anymore. And then we'll see what comes next. And let's experience this moment. Hikuni, vitzauni, nasu atbidi melay. Hikuni, vitzauni, nasu atbidi melay. Shomray hachomot, shomray hachomot, shomray hachomot. Hikuni, vitzauni, nasu atbidi melay. Hikuni, vitzauni, nasu atbidi melay. Shomray hachomot, shomray hachomot, shomray hachomot. Hikuni, vitzauni, nasu atbidi melay. Hikuni, vitzauni, nasu atbidi melay. Shomray hachomot, shomray hachomot, shomray hachomot. So in that place of being bruised and beaten, we are humbled. We surrender. And we step onto a path of healing. And in that healing, we become more whole than even before the beating. We become, we find ourselves through that healing. We find God. We find each other through that process of healing. I'm just reminded of the time in my life I was in a bad car accident and spent a year healing, and that year, which humbled me, was also the year that I opened up to really a new sense of the divine at my foundation, because I needed it, and it was there. And I don't know if I could have found my way there without that. So, I was looking at some different teachings today about that before the healing comes trust. And this by George Feuerstein, who says, ultimately, there can be no complete healing until we have restored our primal trust in life. Ultimately, there can be no complete healing until we have restored our primal trust in life. And, and maybe in that place of being beat up, that trust was broken. And when we find it again, we are stepping onto that path of healing. So I wanted to chant these words that say Yom Ira, and Yom Ira is the day in the very day that I fear, because that is, I think, what keeps us in suffering is fear. What keeps us thinking of, like if you feel a terrible pain and you go to fear. The last quote was from George Feuerstein. If you go to fear, you have no access to the path of healing from that place. And so the pathway through that place of suffering is surrender into this wider embrace, this sense of being held. So in that day of my fear and that moment of fear, I want to train myself to put my trust in you, in spite of, because of suffering, that I want to go there instead of the place of fear, because fear is what's going to shut me down to the flow of healing. And that place of primal trust is also, again, the place I can open. I can lean into that sense of the divine that is holding me. Does that speak to you?
It does. Just what I need to hear.
Yeah. I'm just doing this for him. He's been through a little bit of a hard time, so I'm going to say.
Pretty serious headaches.
Yeah, serious headaches. So, and when you go to fear, it
makes it worse.
Makes it worse. So let's establish another pathway right here. Yom Ira, 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 Ani aylecha, evtach, Ani aylecha, evtach, Ani aylecha, evtach, Ani aylecha, evtach. Yom Ira, Yom Ira, Yom Ira, Yom Ira, Yom Ira, Yom Ira,
Yom Ira Ani aylecha evtach Ani aylecha evtach Ani
After the herd, restoring our primal trust in life. And I want to ask you to just to close your eyes and feel that trust. Because it's really something that we have to feel in our bodies. And then a kind of a releasing of the tension that comes with not trusting. And we enter into that trust in the unfolding, in the mystery. And, it feels like, and then the healing can happen. The journey to wholeness can happen. And that healing happens with compassion, with self-compassion, with holding one another. A teaching from Jack Kornfield that says our sorrows and wounds are healed only when we touch them with compassion. And it's the tragedy is that sometimes we're ashamed of our wounds, and that shame comes in, as the obstacle to to exactly what we need, which is the compassion from others, from ourselves, and looking around the Zoom room, and sort of knowing that we've all been wounded, we've all had our hearts broken, and now it's sort of like, what will we do? What will we do with that? And that the energy of that wound can become the fuel for our spiritual journey. It can open us. It can lead us towards each other from our places of separation. So let's take a minute or so just to look around the Zoom room to see if we can first sort of touch this place of compassion for each other and receive it for ourselves. I see some people have their hands on their hearts, which is definitely helpful. That self-compassion. And let's see if we can just for a moment breathe deeply. I looked at you, Batya, and I said, oh, breathing that compassion, breathing deeply. Just taking it in and also sending it out with a long exhale out into each other. And it feels like that compassion kind of moves through me and heals something also inside me as it comes through. So the words that I want to chant from Psalm 147 says Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, and we're invoking this aspect of God, healer to the brokenhearted, that divine flow, you, healer to the brokenhearted, and the way that you heal and the way that we heal is through the binding up of the wound, through the holding, through the embrace. I'm not going to stitch you back together. All I'm going to do is to hold you, and the healing happens from that holding. It's like a wound that is, held together, and it's actually, God does the healing, in that holding. And I always remember in that car accident when I broke my ribs, and I saw the X-ray of my ribs like this. They were like this, and I said to the doctor, "Well, now what? How are they going to find each other?" Because there wasn't any kind of bandage you could put on it, And then he explained to me, no, they'll find each other inside you. They'll do it, and then they'll do. He sort of explained to me what they do to find their way to each other, and to like do this binding up, and the only thing he told me was to breathe. So that was the only, but as as this magical healing happens in our spirits, and it happens from that invocation of God, who is holding us all the time. And God is actually holding us all the time. That mystery is holding us. And we need to surrender to it and open to its power, and then trust in the process. Trust in that process that is happening. Do you want to chant this with me?
I do.
So I invite you to open up to that divine power that moves through us, that holds each other, and that holds all of the suffering in the world in a way that allows healing to happen, that doesn't turn away from it, that is there in that place of holding, And each of us gets to heal our own broken hearts as well. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. Once more. Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, Harofay Lish'vuray Lev, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam, u'mechabesh le'atzvotam. So I invite you to keep your eyes closed, put your hand on your heart, and we're going to send the energy of this chant to your past self, to some moment in your past when you felt broken or hopeless. And just call up that past self and surround them with a sense of holding, embrace. Let them witness your wholeness in their brokenness. And now turn to your future self in a moment when your future self might be afraid, might get startled or alarmed. And send this energy of this message of trust, this message of that you are held through it all. And send that to your future self. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Again, look around the Zoom room. I thought to be able to, in our breakout rooms for those who want to stay, to share something of that past and that future, to share something of that would be a wonderful way to be witnessed in that practice. So I invite you also to go to my website and give a little donation in honor of the gifts of the teachings that you received tonight. And I'm so happy to be with you and to be connected in practice. And I'm going to, those who wish to stay for a 10-minute sharing, just to reflect on your practice together.